Welcome to the Vault XL. I'm bringing you continued coverage pertaining to P. Diddy, his entities, allegations, truth, facts. What is the truth? Um, a young man has been arrested and has bonded out. He has been alleged as a drug mule for Mr. Sean Combs. I'm going to show you different videos during this live stream pertaining to the raids, the reason for the raids, footage pertaining to this young man, who he is. I'm going to bring you a little bit of bio on this Brendan Paul, and we're going to chop up the truth. Has he been working for Sean Combs? Has he been running drugs for him? Getting the drugs for him? A lot of interesting information, so I want to thank you for joining me. Let's get right down to it, shall we? If you'd like to donate to this great network, $ Big Angie, 129 Cash App. Stickers and chats are always welcome during the live. Please check out my extensive library in the YouTube queue, 5,000 videos, now at 14,000 subscribers. God is good. Thank you so much. Welcome everybody in the chat. Brendan Paul is my next subject matter. I will be live a little bit later with other commentary. Let's talk about this nonsense going on here, everybody.
Amazon delivered, a woman visited, a private guard guarded. A more typical day at Sean Diddy Combs' Star Island properties. Done for the moment, the federal agents who served one of two search warrants here, part of a criminal investigation by the Southern District of New York. Agents took electronics, including a silver MacBook Air, the raid simultaneously at his homes on Star Island and in LA, as Combs himself was preparing to fly out of Locka Airport, but not on his private plane, which had already departed for Antigua. It was at Locka that one of his entourage, Brendan Paul, was arrested for having cocaine in his bags. Drug mule and payer of sex workers in this scathing, explicit 73-page lawsuit against Combs, his son, and a roster of associates by music producer Rodney Jones. Last month in it, Jones unspooled allegations with photos of sex abuse, sex trafficking, drugs, violence, threats, a quote enterprise establishing one of the
Let's go back. Let's go back to one of those pictures at the top, because that looks like two men in a bed. Stay woke.
Of sex abuse.
Right there. Pay attention. The picture looks like a brown-skinned, light-skinned black male on top of another male who could possibly be light-skinned or white. And if you look at the armpit, stay woke, that'd be an awfully hairy woman. And then you can look at the chest. That looks like a chest of a man, not a woman. It looks flat. And it also looks like the person has a mole on their arm, under their arm. So who might that be? Who might both of these people be in the photograph? So I told one of the commenters last night, Miss Evie, that perhaps Little Rod, who has also brought forward allegations against Sean Combs, that he has receipts. So this picture is a picture of two men in a bed, sofa, which is soever. So who provided those pictures? Because I think we can look at the two pictures of the two men in the photograph and realize those are men lying together. That's not two women. Unless we're talking about a very flat-chested woman with a hairy armpit. Stay woke. Somebody's got receipts. So the feds didn't show up to these homes in Miami and LA for no reason.
Sex trafficking, drugs, violence, threats, a quote enterprise establishing one of the locations for it as Combs' Star Island address. Based on timing, this civil lawsuit and at least 5 others last year where women claimed they were sex trafficked, one as a minor, may be what federal prosecutors used for Monday's search. This civil lawsuit 5 others last year where women claimed they were sex trafficked, one as a minor, may be what federal prosecutors used for Monday's search. This civil lawsuit, and at least 5 others last year, where women claimed they were sex trafficked, one as a minor, may be what federal prosecutors used for Monday's search warrants in this criminal investigation.
All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining me. Sorry about that. Let's get a little information on Mr. Brendan Paul. Kind of disappointed in you, Mr. Brandon. Well, we all make mistakes, do we not? So they said the plane had already taken off, Mr. Sean's private plane. You saw that black plane. Was that the private plane, or that was just one of the planes he was boarding? Not really sure. Not here to put any false information out. A federal lawsuit names a Northeast Ohio man as rapper Sean Combs' drug mule. In the 73-page lawsuit filed last month in federal court, Brendan Paul, 25, is named as someone who works as Mr. Combs' mule. He acquires and distributes Mr. Combs' drugs and guns. The lawsuit was filed on behalf of artist and record producer Rodney Jones, who also goes by the name Lil Rod, about Brendan Paul. Pictures in the lawsuit show Paul and Combs. One of the pictures is posted on Paul's Facebook page. According to his Facebook bio, he is from Shaker Heights. The New York Post reports he currently lives with his parents in Chagrin Falls. He played basketball at Syracuse, and his online bio shows he attended Hawken High School. Now, this just disappoints me because, my goodness, when Queen was a young girl, that was the college she wanted to attend, Syracuse University. So now we learn that he played basketball. Did he graduate from the University of Syracuse? Did he complete all 4 years as a student? I'm curious. Combs' homes in Los Angeles and Miami were searched Monday as part of an ongoing sex trafficking investigation. A lawyer for Combs said the search of his properties were a gross use of military-level force. The criminal investigation is a major escalation in the scrutiny of the hugely influential hip-hop producer and executive. Combs has been the defendant in several sexual abuse lawsuits in recent months. The statement says Combs is innocent and will continue to fight to clear his name. Brendan Paul arrested on Monday. Around the same time, federal authorities were raiding Combs' homes. According to Fox affiliate WSVN in Miami, Paul was charged with 1 count of possession of suspected cocaine and another of possession of suspected marijuana candy after federal agents intercepted Combs' plane at Miami-Opa Locka Executive Airport. According to TMZ, the drugs were found inside Paul's travel bags. Paul was booked into jail Monday night. He posted bond, was released Tuesday morning. Inside Rodney Jones' lawsuit. In Jones's lawsuit, he said he lived with Combs for months at a time between September 22 and November 2023. He said he produced 9 songs on Combs' Love album during that time. The suit claims he witnessed, experienced, and endured many things that went far beyond his role as a producer on the Love album. The suit said Jones has hundreds of hours of video and audio recordings of Combs, his staff, and his guests engaging in serious illegal activity. Aside from drugs and guns, other claims made by Jones in the lawsuit include Combs providing alcoholic beverages to minors, sex workers, and unnamed rapper consorting with underage girls and sex workers, and an unnamed R&B singer consorting with underage girls and sex workers. So, sir, who are the rappers you are speaking of? Male, female? You also made allegations against rappers' friend or relative making unwanted advances towards you, sexual harassment. Very interesting. Jones also claims he was sexually harassed and assaulted by actor Cuba Gooding Jr. and by a cousin of young Miami Combs' on again and off again girlfriend. So, once again, cousin of young Miami. So that was the one I was referring to. Brendan Paul is named 17 times in the lawsuit. Aside from providing guns, drugs, and making payments to sex workers, Jones claims Paul benefited financially with gifts for participating in Combs' alleged sex trafficking venture. So now we got to ask ourselves, what else was Mr. Paul doing for P. Diddy? Is he bisexual? Has he also participated in sexual activity with the sex workers, Mr. Diddy, and any other entities? And what about you, Mr. Lil Rod? Because you claim you woke up drugged in the bed with Sean and some other people. You did not name who they are. Don't know if you know them or not, or you haven't named them. Will you name them if you know them? You also claim that you were walking around disoriented throughout Mr. Combs' home. Very interesting. Fox 8 reached out to Paul for comment, but have not yet received a response. Paul's attorney tells Fox 8, we do not plan on trying this case in the media. All issues will be dealt with in court. And that's the attorney of Mr. Brendan Paul. Will Brendan Paul give up the goods on his friend Sean? How long have they known each other? How did they meet? What is his role as far as dealing drugs, finding prostitutes, paying prostitutes? What is all bizarre about this? It's just what I said earlier in my live last night. Please check out that live from last night. Brendan allegedly lives with his parents. So don't you find all of this interesting? It seems like P. Diddy is finding codependent men to bring in his entourage. You got a white boy, 25, living with his mom and his daddy. So I'm assuming he's not educated or he didn't finish college at Syracuse. Why not if he didn't? Why are you living with your parents, sir? Why are you carrying drugs around and living with your parents? Ting, ting, ting. Will we also find out they'll be running up in his mom and daddy house? How about that? Stay woke. Stay woke. Lil Rod was living in the house with Sean. Why? This makes no sense to me. Grown-ass men hanging around with a billionaire, and as of date, could be true, could not, Sean Combs is worth an estimated $800 million as of 2024, and it was reported in 2022 he was worth $1 billion. Now, I would assume with all these companies relinquishing their dealership with him, their dealings with him, hell yeah, the money is going to dwindle down. And that's not including that amount has not been disclosed to the public. Will we ever find out how much he paid Cassie? Will she ever talk? Tell the figure? Did she sign a clause to keep her mouth closed? I don't know. But this is all some fine, fine mess. And after that picture I just showed you in this broadcast, somebody's got receipts. Whether you like Diddy, don't like him, believe what they're saying about him, somebody has receipts. And when you start providing photographs of men and women in bed with each other, they're going to ask you, where did you get them? That's why they're raiding the house, you see, because of whatever the receipts these people have on him. And I got a feeling they're going in the house to match the photographs, videos with the location. To also check to see if there's cameras in places that could have taken the pictures and the videos. That's what they're looking for. And any other evidence to corroborate the allegations against Mr. Combs of drug activity, forced sex, underage minors, giving money, evidence of drugging individuals. Because when you start talking about drug activity, you know it's a crime to use drugs, sell drugs, procuring of drugs for a person. You know, that's moving people around place to place. It's a lot of allegations. And that's what I was explaining to someone in the live last night, one of the commenters. Somebody's got receipts. And as you see in this short clip that I just showed you, those are two men in the bed. Now, a black man and a white man, a black man, however you want to word it, them were two grown men in the bed with each other, with the faces blocked out. And like I said, the one on bottom, that's got to be an awfully flat-chested female with a hairy armpit. It is what it is. Yeah, I'm sure it is BS. It's BS to you because you like him. How about that? You like Puff Diddy? You entitled to like whomever you like, sweetheart. Hey, it is what it is. They say he has spoken, so I'm going to try to find some content here where he has given his comments on what has happened. A lot of people have something to say about Mr. Combs. You're entitled to your opinion, but there's no reason for me to have any pictures of people having sex in Sean's house. Why would I have pictures of anybody that had sex in his house? Explain that, please. Explain it to me. All right. Let's hear what Mr. Combs has to say about the allegations against him and the raids on his home. ABC News is the source. Thank you so much for joining me. Brief intermission, everybody. Thank you. Yeah. Whatever you say, dear.
Homes in the wake of Monday's raids. Federal investigators now confirm agents seized electronics from the rapper's homes in California and Florida. Combs' plane flew from California to Antigua in the Caribbean, but Combs was apparently not on board. Sources say the raids are connected to a criminal investigation into sex trafficking allegations against Combs. He's also named in several civil lawsuits and a, quote, widespread and dangerous criminal sex trafficking organization.
Robin Jones's lawsuit highlighted that Sean Combs, according to him, has video surveillance recording devices throughout the many homes that he has, and that those recordings may have video of the alleged crimes that Robin Jones is pointing to.
Combs denies the allegations. His lawyer calls the raids a gross overuse of military.
Let me go back to that.
Video of the alleged crimes that Robin.
Hold on, everybody.
Has video surveillance and recording devices throughout the many homes that he has, and that those recordings may have video of the alleged crimes that Robin Jones is pointing to.
Combs denies the allegations. His lawyer calls the raids a gross overuse of military-level force, adding, this is nothing more than a witch hunt. Mr. Combs will continue to fight every single day to clear his name.
Having heavily armed guards and officers searching a home is pretty normal. Some of the allegations against Sean Combs doesn't just involve sexual assault and human trafficking, but also the possession of firearms and drugs.
Meanwhile, one of Combs' employees named in one of the lawsuits was arrested Monday on drug charges. According to the civil lawsuit, Brendan Paul is accused of previously carrying drugs and guns for Combs. Paul plea. As for Combs, he has not been charged with any crime.
All right. Woo, Lord have mercy. Well, that statement's from the lawyer. I was wanting to hear a direct statement from Mr. Combs. Well, I hear they have made a fine mess. Now we have, what does DaBaby has to say about, I don't know. That's not good either. Shut your mouth. What is next for him? We've got Cuba Gooding Jr. in the mix. We've got a lot of crazy nonsense going on. Was it a witch hunt? Is it a witch hunt? Are the allegations true by Mr. Rod and other females? Who else is going to come out with a lawsuit against him? Just a lot of crazy nonsense. A lot of people got content pertaining to this debacle. What he was doing. What was he doing? Let's see. What was he doing?
New video, Diddy slowly pacing outside Miami's private jet facility at 3 p.m. yesterday via TMZ as Homeland Security raided mansions on both coasts, from his $35 million waterfront estate in Florida to Beverly Hills.
I'm outside Diddy's $40 million pad. It's quiet now, but yesterday, media, SWAT vehicles, dozens of armed officials and investigators descended on the property, seizing boxes of evidence and putting his sons Christian and Justin in handcuffs. They were reportedly detained and released. So what does this raid mean for Diddy and any evidence against him?
Law enforcement had enough to get the search.
Let me go back and look at something for just a second, everybody. I'm kind of curious right here. Hold on one second. I want to look at something.
Seizing boxes of evidence and putting his sons Christian and Justin in handcuffs.
Now, just bear with me for just a second. One of the photographs that somebody has for evidence material looks like a light-skinned man. I thought maybe he had a head, you know, not a turban, but a like what you call a do-rag, not a do-rag. But what we wear as women, wig caps. So I thought it was a wig cap on the person's hair. And until I kept looking at the photograph, I thought, oh no, that's somebody with like a box cut or a full haircut. So then I zoom in and look at this photograph here of one of the sons who has more of a full hairdo. How long has he had that hairdo? Does he regularly wear that? And then I'm jogging my mind back to the photograph I just saw of a man with full hair, light skin, lying on top of a man. I'm just saying. And I thought about that. People are having sex in his house. Would he film his own son having sex with somebody? Why not? But what if he jacked up if that's his son in that damn photograph? Who knows?
They were reportedly detained and released. So what does this raid mean for Diddy and any evidence against him?
Law enforcement had enough to get the search warrant. They maybe even have enough to get an indictment, and if so, I expect Diddy to be arrested in a matter of days and no more than weeks.
This afternoon, Diddy's attorney called the raid a gross overuse of military-level force and part of a witch hunt, adding that his client is innocent.
Yeah, I'm real
and was
messy.
never detained, but spoke to and cooperated with authorities. Seems like Diddy was completely caught off guard. Check out his demeanor just 6 days ago, beaming while out with his son Quincy in West Hollywood. So where's the rapper now? Well, all eyes have been focused on tracking his private jet, which left LA around 9 a.m. yesterday, bound for Antigua and Barbuda.
The United States has an extradition treaty with Antigua and Barbuda, which means that Diddy can be arrested there and brought back to the United States.
Where do you go to relax in the world? I like the Caribbean.
No, Diddy is not on the run. He was not on that flight, but is a free man for now and can travel. He was reportedly scheduled to leave for a trip to the Bahamas.
You went to a private island, you isolated yourself, no phones.
Off the grid is something I do like at least once a month.
Just 6 months ago, this single star told ET his ideal date is all about isolating.
No phones, no Wi-Fi. Before there was the internet, there's no way like to track your girlfriend or nothing.
50 Cent, who's currently producing a documentary on his longtime enemy's sexual assault allegations, wasted no time posting speculation Diddy was fleeing the country and, quote, I told y'all. Diddy's Been Around the World music video has gone viral, showing him fleeing cops on a private plane.
If he's under indictment, the judge will issue an arrest warrant, which means that he can be arrested whether it's here in the United States or in the Caribbean.
And former employee / Aubrey O'Day posted, what you sow, you shall reap. I pray that this emboldens all of us victims to finally speak on what we have endured.
It was torture, mind games. I don't think any of us have healed from that.
Aubrey and other ex-bandmates stood by Diddy's ex Cassie, who was one of at least 5 people to file lawsuits accusing him of crimes from rape and sex trafficking to physical abuse. The rapper vehemently denied the claims and settled Cassie's suit just a day later.
Ultimately, I think Diddy is going to be indicted by a grand jury. Diddy can be looking at a 10 or even 15-year mandatory minimum sentence for even 1 count of sex trafficking.
Oh no, I got to keep on moving.
All right, everybody, that's entertainment tonight. You entitled to believe the allegations or not? I don't really care because I'm just bringing you an update pertaining to breaking news. You either believe it or you don't believe it. Because last I checked, he don't pay my bills. How about that? I think a lot of people are probably shocked at the force. That's the one thing I think many people are talking about is the Homeland Security. That's where I was confused with using the Homeland Security to go in the home. I didn't even know that Homeland Security orchestrated raids for human trafficking, but obviously they do. So I've been enlightened on Homeland Security being involved. I think the one thing that possibly bothered me was that, like, wow, okay, you got warrants, whatever, cool. But with all this nonsense we have pertaining to the border in Texas, you actually have Border Patrol watching people coming into the country and they're not doing anything. So that's what kind of threw me off when I saw Homeland Security raiding both of his homes. Kind of strange, but I don't know much about Homeland Security, what they do and don't do. So the allegations by Lil Rod, do you believe them or you don't? Number one. The allegations by Cassie, do you believe them? He has paid her, which I found, to me, a sign of guilt. Because if I didn't do what she said I did, why would I pay her? I don't really understand the point in paying someone. Now, could this Lil Rod just be jumping off the bandwagon of allegations that she brought forward? Of course. But I still don't see why you would pay her. It makes no sense to me why you would pay her. I gotta find the video of his house. That's where I'm that's what I'm looking for. Where they show the pictures of the house, the condition of the house, the houses. I'm sure they made a mess. A fine mess, but that's what they do. Thank you, everybody.
Talking about this, especially on social media right now. Sean Combs, Diddy, accused of all kinds of things, including human trafficking.
His homes have been raided by federal agents. They even intercepted his plane on a tarmac and arrested his associate in Miami. Right now, let's bring in TMZ's Branson Kirk to talk more about it. Thank you for being here. All of his troubles stem from an explosive lawsuit. Can you walk us through that?
Yeah, so I mean, after this, these Mondays and these raids were intense. As we know, Miami, his home was raided as well as his Los Angeles home on Monday. Well, we are learning a little bit more information about all of this, what went down, as well as some new footage and some new photographs that TMZ has obtained. Well, Diddy, during the raid, was intercepted by federal agents on the tarmac, actually out in Miami at one of the airports out there. He was about to aboard a private jet. He was with some of his family, some of his crew, and federal agents intercepted him. And it's really interesting. Actually, one of his...
Let me interject right here. So for him to be intercepted, assumingly to board an airplane, that means they were watching him. They had to have been watching him and or getting information from someone possibly inside his entourage to know that he was going to be taking a trip. Naturally, he's not going to say, he's going to say, I was surprised. That's what I think the average person would say. I'm surprised these people showed up to intercept me. And yes, we know that he has not been arrested. And so what? That's why it's called gathering evidence. And that's what they've done. And we've seen it in many cases. Such as in the case of a little birdie that allegedly killed Tupac. They didn't originally arrest him either, but they raided his house where he was staying, and then they came back with an arrest.
Associates was arrested on charges of possibly being a mule, on possible drug charges and so forth. Yeah, Brendan Paul actually has been named in one of the lawsuits that is been targeted towards Diddy. But no, we're learning a little bit more information about the raid. TMZ obtained video actually of that raid here in Los Angeles. The aftermath of his home, you can see hard drives just torn apart. You can see papers thrown about. You can see several different pieces of the home, safes broken into as well. So obviously, federal investigators really felt like they had, probable cause to go in there and look for what they were looking for, and they did not hold back in their attempt to look for what they were looking for. We don't know exactly what they were looking for, but we know that this is all tied to all those civil lawsuits that he has faced the last few months, tied to sex trafficking allegations and, several other heinous crimes that have been targeted towards him. But Diddy has really been responding and saying that he remains innocent. This is a witch hunt. He's being railroaded by the government and so forth. So that's how Diddy feels right now. But at the moment, he has not been arrested and he is still in states.
Definitely will develop some insane allegations, though, for sure. We'll see what happens.
All right, that's Fox. How can you be railroaded by the government? If the government didn't have a problem with you before, they hadn't been bothering you, stalking you, sitting outside your homes, climbing in trees with cameras, binoculars. Why all of a sudden now the government has a problem with you, Sean? That's what I'm trying to understand. The law says you are innocent until proven guilty. How about that? Some believe he will face sex trafficking charges. Everyone's entitled to his or her opinion. I'm trying to find the content about his home. So don't mind me while I'm going through all of these videos. Weigh in. What do you think? Everybody's got something to say. As of late, it's the latest content pertaining to Sean. What's ill to me is the filming of people. Like I said, you're entitled to put cameras in your house. That's your business. But are you really just putting them there for security, or you want to make videos to show other people? Because that's what Lil Rod is alleging. He showed him content of people having sex, men having sex, and I just don't understand that. That to me is just some sick shit. And to me, if it was him having sex with a woman or others having sex with a woman, men and women having sex, it's still nasty. That's why I made the comment last night in my video. Why are you going to somebody else's house having sex? Makes no sense. Go get a room. I'm not going in some guy's house to have sex with other people. Now, to each his own, but you'd have to be a fool to do that. You couldn't logically think you going inside somebody's house. They're having orgies, whatever. Open rooms, closed rooms. And in your right mind, you're not thinking that there's not a camera in there. You'd have to be a damn fool. You'd have to be a damn fool to think that there are no cameras in there. I'm trying to find this video where they're talking about his house. So excuse me while I go through this because I saw it earlier. Once again, he claims this is a witch hunt. Trying to find it. Because I've got so many videos. I saw it here earlier. A lot of people have commentary pertaining to how they feel about this raid. Now, one person says it's a conspiracy. Okay. They've got Cuba Gooding Jr. What they say? Sean Diddy Combs looks bad on the outside. Yeah, I guess he does. And so far, there's nothing on Prince Harry pertaining to this nonsense. He performed for he and his brothers years ago pertaining to their deceased mother. But so far, I haven't seen anything with Prince Harry. Don't mind me. I'm going through this because I'm trying to find this video about his house. They had a video about the house, showing the house. And I can't find it for some reason. Ooh, and of course, Suge Knight, he would have something to say. I can't find it. Oh, me. Well, the sons haven't been arrested. What will they find in the houses? That's what I'm wondering. Will they find videos? What will they find? I cannot find this video for some reason. Well, it was in here. Sorry about this, everybody. Trying to find this video where they're showing the house. Where are they? If I had it here. Let me try the CNN and see if they got it. Because one of these videos is showing the actual house. They raided both houses, sweetheart.
Homeland Security has just confirmed to CNN that federal law enforcement agents have raided properties owned by musician and producer Sean Diddy Combs. Let's bring in CNN security correspondent Josh Campbell and CNN legal analyst Joey Jackson. Josh, so let me start with you. What do these raids by federal agents in multiple locations tell you about the seriousness of this investigation?
Yeah, Wolf, a very significant development here, seeing this law enforcement action taking place. I'll point out, just to be clear at the outset, we don't know that Sean Diddy Combs himself is the subject or target of a federal investigation. So it's just worth pointing that out at this hour. But what we do know is that 2 properties associated with him, we saw the feds descend on those properties. We saw on aerial footage, federal agents both here in the Los Angeles area as well as in Miami at those residences. Now, the Department of Homeland Security, their what's called HSI, Homeland Security Investigations, gave CNN a statement. I'll read you part of that when asked about what this activity is. They say that earlier today, HSI New York executed law enforcement actions as part of an ongoing investigation with assistance from HSI Los Angeles, HSI Miami, and our local law enforcement partners. That is it, confirming that they are conducting what they're deeming law enforcement action, which could indicate warrants being conducted there, could indicate arrests being conducted. We just don't know at this hour specifically what that law enforcement action is. It is worth pointing out, though, that Combs himself obviously has faced significant legal woes in recent months. I'll give you kind of the highlights of what actually occurred in November. He was sued for rape and abuse by a former partner. That lawsuit was then settled very quickly, but in December, he faced sexual assault allegations in a complaint filed in the Southern District of New York. The suit was brought by a woman referred to as Jane Doe, who said that she was 17 at the time when these allegations took place back in 2003. He was accused of sex trafficking and gang rape, among other allegations, also in that suit naming 2 of his associates. Of course, Combs denied any wrongdoing there. And then just last month, a former employee of Combs filed a suit also in the state of New York, accusing him of sexual assault, of sexual harassment, and, quote, grooming. That former employee stated that he had worked for Combs between 2022 and 2023. Among those allegations, this former employee, a male employee, said that Combs did not compensate him for his music production work and forced him to procure and interact with sex workers, threatened him with serving alcoholic beverages laced with drugs to guests at parties at Combs' home. And then Combs' son, Justin Combs, was also accused of soliciting prostitutes and underage girls at his father's homes. Again, the Combs have denied any wrongdoing, but just a series of allegations that we've seen taking place. Final point, Wolf, I'll note is that while we don't know the specific allegations or why the feds are at these residences, it is worth pointing out the agency that is conducting this law enforcement activity. It's not the FBI, it's not the DEA or the ATF. This is HSI, Homeland Security Investigations. For those unfamiliar, this is an agency that has long been the forefront specifically at human trafficking investigations. So although we don't have the specifics yet, we're starting to we can glean just based on which agency has the lead, the direction this might go. But again, we don't yet know that Combs himself was the target of the investigation. Well, we do know that at this hour that federal agents were at 2 of his homes, both here in Los Angeles and in Florida, Wolf.
Yeah, important points. Joey Jackson, let me repeat, we don't know Sean Diddy Combs himself is under investigation, but clearly, Joey, it's not good if your homes are actually being raided.
Exactly. It's bad.
No,
Either way.
Wolf, and I think whatever conclusions can be drawn remain to be seen. Right? There's not an indictment that we're talking about. That means that we're not speaking of a grand jury having rendered a conclusion, not as to guilt. That's not what grand jurors do. But as to reasons to believe that a crime was committed and he committed them. Having said that, whenever you have a raid and an investigation, these things need to be really predicated upon, right? The precursor for this to happen would be some probable cause. What is that probable cause? We don't know. But let's go back to what Josh Campbell talked about, which are those various lawsuits. Now, lawsuits are civil actions in nature. They're not criminal at all. But what they do is they give authorities some guidelines and guideposts with respect to alleged conduct that was engaged in, with regard to who it was engaged in, what activities there were, what it involved. And so that, if there's an investigation, could serve as a source of plentiful information. That information could be further investigated, right, by certainly this Homeland Security Agency. And as a result of that, they can work with their local law enforcement partners. What does that mean? It means that they, collectively, law enforcement, try to determine whether there's reason to believe that crimes were committed, and, were those crimes carried out and associated in any way we don't know, with Sean Combs. And so that remains to be seen. But before authorities can get into the home or property of anyone, you have to establish some firm basis to do that. And that is what at least we can conclude, that they had reason to believe that there were crimes involving sex trafficking, apparently, and that these areas potentially can give more information with respect to the specifics. And I think they would be looking for computer devices and other devices which would seem to indicate or give information as to whether there was any criminality. Very early in the process, but certainly we know that these have been carried out, and we'll see what, if any, information is gleaned to be suggestive of any criminality.
Very interesting. Josh, let me get back to you. You know the FBI very well. Under what circumstances would raids like these be conducted?
Well, this would require, if it is indeed a search that's being conducted, it would require federal officers, in this case with Homeland Security investigations, going to and seeking a warrant, indicating that we believe that evidence of a crime could be located in these residences. And then this third party, an independent judge, has to approve that warrant. And then you see take place what's happening now on our screen. I particularly want to focus on, you see that large RV-looking vehicle there. This is the mobile command post that federal agencies will send whenever they're going to be somewhere, likely for a long time. I mean, if you look at these residences, we're talking about very large estates. And so, as Joey was mentioning, something as simple as a thumb drive or anywhere where electronic media could be stored, if it's on that warrant, authorities can search that residence top to bottom, looking for any type of device, any type of storage mechanism that fits within the four corners of that search warrant. Now, again, I'll caution, we don't know specifically why they were there. It does tell us, I think, that just because you see that large posture of all of these federal vehicles that are there, including this mobile command post, this was likely not something as simple as an arrest where you show up and you find a person that you're seeking, but likely more along the lines of a search warrant, which falls in line with what HSI told us in that statement when they say law enforcement actions. That's something that we often hear from federal agents as a euphemism for conducting some type of search. But again, both of these residences, both where I am here in LA, it's just a few miles here from the CNN LA Bureau where this search is taking place. Also, you see this large cadre of federal agencies descending on those homes. Again, the big question now, what are they looking for? We're waiting for specifics on that as this search continues.
And Joey, video also shows heavily armed agents entering Diddy's home. How unusual is that?
So it's not unusual. I mean, I think that what law enforcement does is certainly they want to be protective of themselves, potentially to deter any type of activity that could occur of a criminal variety. Not that there would be any, but you never know. And so as a result of that, once they're armed, not only armed literally, but armed with respect to a warrant, that would suggest that they have reason to be there, that there's criminality that would be afoot potentially, they go, law enforcement does, and they make sure that the area is secure such that they can get any information from that warrant so that they can continue to investigate. Very important to note, Wolf, that these are investigative stages. Warrants are typical in any type of investigation, right? This is the United States of America. Everyone has rights, but you don't get into someone's home without establishing that there may be some what we call indicia of criminality. They now, law enforcement, will evaluate whatever they find in connection with this search. And if that search bears fruit with respect to any potential criminality on any computer devices, any cell phone devices, any thumb drives or anything else, then they will connect the dots. And if it's appropriate, they'll move to the next level. And that could lead to something more serious. Again, all speculation at this point, but we know now that they certainly had enough information to be in California and Miami. What stems from that remains to be seen.
All right, Joey Jackson, Josh Campbell, to both of you, thank you very, very much.
All right, everybody. I cannot seem to find this video of his house. I don't know where it is. They have pictures of inside of the house, and I can't find it for some reason. It's just strange. Weigh in. What do you all have to say? Look at you all's comments, because you all are really chatting down there, 240 in the room. Thank you for joining me. This is why it's so difficult to prosecute bad guys, because the minute you actually have an investigation with evidence, here comes the peanut gallery to input their cheap feelings and emotion. Okay. If you'd like to call the queen on Instagram to give me your opinion during this live stream, I'm on Instagram, bigsexy.71. Feel free to send me a message, and you are welcome to come and let people hear your conversation. I don't have the panel up today because usually when I put it up, nobody ever comes up. They like to just sit in the chat and talk. But if you want to give me your opinion and people can hear you, you're welcome to call me right now on Instagram, bigsexy.71. Please be respectful in your commentary if you call me. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Vault XL. I'm still trying to search for those pictures of the house inside, because they keep just showing the outside. I would like to show people what it looks like on the inside behind. For some reason, I can't find the video of the inside of the house, which is very strange. So far, 6 people are presumed dead from the Baltimore bridge collapse. I did a video about that yesterday. So prayers to those people who perished in the waters. Allegedly, that ship lost control. It sent out a mayday before crashing into the bridge. Very, very, very sad situation. Once again, Sean Combs estimated at $800 million net worth 2024, $1 billion in 2022. What is his actual estimate now? He says he's not going to be paying out any more money to anyone else. Will he? Will he not pay out? I'm just curious. Will he be arrested? Will others be arrested? What is going to happen to Mr. Sean Combs? Are the allegations true of him gang raping women, sex with minors, giving alcohol to minors? His son has also been procuring young girls. Why would you go out and find young girls for your father? Please explain to the queen. I definitely don't understand that. I definitely don't understand that. What is this fascination with girls? Young girls with these musicians and athletes. To the chat yesterday. Imagine he wasn't famous. He was not Puff Diddy, Puff Daddy Love. He was just a regular old guy, the garbage man. Guy standing on the front street selling incense, tennis shoes. Would he be this same person? Just asking. Would he be out here sleeping with young girls, filming himself have sex with women, men, whomever, boys, whatever the hell he's got going on, filming other people? Would Sean Combs be this same guy that's alleged in these allegations if he was not famous? Stay woke. He be the same person that the claims are about. I'm just curious. Now, one commenter said they believe the allegations from Cassie, but don't believe the allegations from Lil Rod. And I asked yesterday, why not? So he's piggybacking off of the allegations from Cassie, Lil Rod. The problem I have with Lil Rod is the obvious. You're a man. You're a grown man. And I can't understand, and for the world of me, you allowing another man to touch you, grope you, show you porn of him with other people, men, women, porn of other people engaging in sex, other famous people having sex. Why would you put up with that for $30,000 to work on somebody's album. So one is going to wonder, are you angry that you felt like you were worth more money? You asked for more money, but he wouldn't pay you more to work on the album. You also were living in his house. See, all these things are suspect to me because one, I don't understand why a grown man is living in a house with another grown man. That's just plain. You're making enough money to sustain yourself. You mean to tell me a $30,000 paycheck, you couldn't go find somewhere to live? If you found a studio somewhere for $1,000, $2,000 a month, you could have paid your rent up for several months. So the first thing I'm thinking to myself, you don't have a hustling mind. Because see, you can be a hustler and not be a dope dealer. Stay woke. Every day you get up here and make money, some type of way, you are grinding. So I want to talk to you, Lil Rod. What the hell is wrong with you? Oh, like I said, living in his house. Why were you living in his house? What was the arrangement? Did you have to pay bills, light bill, water bill? Come on with it, because I don't understand why the fuck a grown-ass man is living with a man who's supposed to be allegedly bisexual any damn way. Come on with it, Queen, because ain't nobody listening. Now you mad about he didn't, all you have to do is tell him, hey, this is what I need to make this music for you. Bottom line, even swap ain't no swindle. So that's suspect to me. Now we got videos, pictures, this and that. So I think what happened was you got pissed off at P. Diddy for something. I don't know what it's all about. But I think you got upset at him for something, whatever it was. And that's when you started taking pictures, photographs, videos, keeping a daily record of what was going on in his house. Perhaps you planned this. I don't know. But something's off. And the fact that you allow another man to grope you, put his hands on you, Cuba Gooding Jr., whomever you allegedly, it ought to have been some smoke in the cities. Because ain't no way a grown man that's straight would allow another man to touch him, grope him, kiss him, rub his head, shoulder, neck, back, and anywhere else. Somebody would be laying face down. That's the bottom line. I don't care if the man's not violent. He ought to become violent once a man decides to start touching him. Negro, I'm about to break every bone in your body. So what's the truth? Brendan Paul, how long has he known that white boy? How long has Mr. Paul been working for Sean? Allegations that he procures the drugs, pays the sex workers, and he living at home with his mom and daddy. Are y'all paying attention to what's going on here? I'm not saying these things aren't true that Sean's been doing, but what I'm saying is, it seems to me he knows how to bait people, and that's the same thing that R. Kelly was doing. They know how to groom. That's what this business is about, grooming. Let me find the weakest link. Let me find a fella who can't take up for himself, can't speak up for himself. That's what grooming's all about. That's why children are groomed. Let me see how they're going to act. Let me see how they're going to react. Okay, they didn't tell, I touch him again. They didn't tell, I touch him again. So it's the same thing with adults. I rub his shoulder, oops, he didn't do nothing. I rub his back, oops, he didn't do nothing. Okay, I rub his head, oops, he didn't do nothing. Now I'm just going to start kissing him. Oops, he didn't do anything. Stay woke. Ain't no fucking way I'm going to be sitting up here laying up with no man, touching, groping, nothing for the almighty dollar. And if all you got was 30 G's up out of it, you sure know for short-handed. Or as we say, short-changed. This is just ridiculous. You also claim you woke up in the bed one day with him and some others. Believe that you were drugged. Walking around Puff Daddy house disoriented. See, all this is nonsense to me. This is absolute nonsense to me. Because like I said, I'm not saying Sean didn't do some of these things. Oh, I think he did probably most of it. But where I have the problem with Lil Rod's lawsuit is the touching and the groping. It should have never got to the point where you knew nothing about what Sean was doing, because the first time he came touching you, I don't know if it was day 1, day 5, month 1, month 6, that's when that relationship should have been null and void. P. Diddy would have been Diddy flat, because I'd have knocked his ass out. And I'd have let him know. You don't want me going to the press, TMZ, Sun, The Mirror, that you just tried to touch me? Assign me a check, and I'll get out of your way. That's what he should have done. And then Sean probably would have told him, nobody's going to believe you. Nobody's going to care. Nobody's going to care. I'm Sean. I'm puffy. I'm famous. I'm well known. Nobody's going to care. Nobody's going to believe you. And this is why you have people grooming people. Okay, they do it with children. They groom children. Same thing. Okay, now I'm grooming adults. I'm touching adults. I'm saying derogatory things to adults. I'm doing it because I've been doing it. And that's the thing people need to understand about grooming. You don't wake up and start grooming people. You have been taught to become a groomer, okay? Now, I'm not saying he's been molested as a child, Sean, but he's had some experiences probably as a young person with inappropriate touching and sexual contact. Take it as you will. That's why it was really no secret that R. Kelly was grooming and touching and being attracted to children, boys, girls, because he had been touched as a child. Okay? He had been molested by his own sister, molested by the male neighbor. So next thing you know, he's acting these things out possibly as a child. Now he's grown and he's now attracted to sex, touching and groping and so on and so forth. That's where this shit comes from, childhood trauma. But the point is, when you become an adult, nobody cares. Nobody cares about what somebody did to you as a child. People are looking at you like, hey, you grown, go get some help. You ain't got no business putting your hands on no damn child. You don't have no business even being attracted to a child. But we learned that R. Kelly, his mother kept him cooped up in the house for some weird reason. And I found that odd. She letting the other boys go out and play, the other children go out and play, but you got R. Kelly locked up in the house. Why? The next thing you know, being touched by the neighbor, being touched by the sister. And also it was said that the mother was allegedly molested by either her father or the grandfather. So you see, it's a generational curse. Now we over here on Front Street, P. Diddy's the new subject. So P. Diddy, Queen is curious. Were you touched as a child? Is that where all this is coming from? The hell is going on? Or is it because you just became famous, you're using your clout, using your name, your status to get what you want? You don't want anybody telling you no. They say rape is a form of control, but I also say it's about sex. Because let me tell you something. If your game tight, yeah, I said that. If your game is tight, you can manipulate a person without touching them. You can manipulate a person without groping them. Stay woke. People are manipulated every day. And they don't put their hands on nobody. They don't touch them inappropriately. Okay? I had a young guy tell me this years back. He said, Miss Angie, we are all manipulators. We have all manipulated somebody at some point in our lives. And I said, you know what, son? I will agree with you. He said, if a person tells you they've never manipulated another human, they're a damn lie. And I do agree. We have all manipulated somebody. We have told them we needed something. We needed a little pick me up, a drink, a cigarette, $20, $30 on a light bill, need a car note paid, need money down on a car, need to buy new furniture. Say, well, bat your lashes. Bet your lashes to get an extra drink at the bar. Who ain't done that? You ain't breathing if you ain't done it. So then you take it a little farther because you got something wrong with you. Because you're a sadist such as these fellas. Weinstein, Epstein, R. Kelly, now P. Diddy. Now you on some other shit that you ain't supposed to be on with the touchy-feely stuff. Oh, you look so pretty today. Oh, you smell so good. I'm attracted to you. Would you like to have a little fun? Don't nobody gotta know. I won't tell if you won't tell. And little do you know why you're getting all wrapped up and seduced by a famous person. They got cameras in the room. So now you touching and laying down upright, flippity flip. And there's audio and video. And then one day you going about your business and a little birdie taps you on the shoulder. Hey, sugar mama gonna holler at you. Yes, there's a video of you going around. What'd you say? Oh, there's a video of you going around. I thought I'd let you know. What you mean? Puff Diddy filmed you one night in the boom boom room. He did what? Oh, he filmed you. Thought I'd let you know. Kind of like that. Now what you gonna do? Now you gotta go try to find Sean Combs and ask him why the fuck he was filming you having sex with him or whomever. And can I get that copy back, please? And good luck with that. That's what's going on here. He has used his status to manipulate people. I won't doubt that Sean has videos on all kinds of people who have been in his house. And they could have been just walking around the house, walking around the patios, talking, laughing, kissing, hugging, probably in the corner kissing somebody. They married, got a boyfriend, girlfriend, and Sean got all of that on video. You can best believe that. That's how R. Kelly got wrapped up many moons ago. And the girl wouldn't testify because she was a child and he paid her family off. But she was in that damn video because as I told the chat yesterday, I've seen the video. And there was a whole child in there having sex with a grown-ass man. Because that's the one thing I noticed about the video. I said, this is a child in this video. This ain't no grown woman. You can look at her body and tell it was a child. Just like I could tell in that fucking photo. That's two men laying in the bed. That black man kissing on the white man or a light-skinned man, whoever it is, there were two men in that photo I just showed you. That's why I know they got receipts. They did not just show up to his house ×2 and that airport on no damn rumor. It's in the paperwork. Oh, we've been looking at him for several months. So several months means more than 6. Stay woke. What you say, Queen? Several. Lil Rod just started crying in November. Had he already found an attorney months before November? Got everything rolled out? Then they went to the press in November? Possibly. So you don't really know what's brewing. But the one thing I can say is there is no excuse. And I can say this to Puff Daddy directly from Queen. Queen from East Tennessee. You nasty. I don't respect no man or no woman that one engages in sex with children, is attracted to children, looking for children, using people to go pick up children, drugging people, putting shit in their damn drinks, calling Bill Cosby. Hell yeah, I said it. Because it needs to stop. Don't nobody give a fuck about you being a producer. You famous, you doing this, you got that. Oh, I got the package. Ain't no telling what else you got. And another thing, because I asked this question too about old Cassie. And he got her jumping through hula hoops and beds with different people, prostitutes. Come on with it, because y'all ain't ready for this. See, I asked the question, the prostitutes, were they men or were they women that she was sleeping with, right? Okay, I got the 411 that it's men. So if it's men, you gonna sit here and think in your right mind, them men don't go both ways? You think them men are only sleeping with women for money? Old granny wanting to pay a young something to give her a little something? Child, bye. Male prostitutes use deduction. Those men are probably going both ways. They are being paid to sleep with men and also sleep with women. No way I'm going to believe the men that girl was laying up with only slept with women. No way I believe that. So you got to ask yourself, what type of person can you and love you and want to watch you sleep with random people, film it, ejaculate while watching, excuse my language, and say they love you? And the same black Negro putting their hands on you, beating you up, beating up a pretty girl. He met Cassie, she was 19 allegedly. She was still a child. Playing a grown-up role with a grown-ass man that should have been out here trying to bed a grown-ass woman, like R. Kelly, Sylvester. This sick attraction to kids, I don't get it. And as I said in my commentary last night, please check out that video. It's winded. Chop it up at your discretion. Why not just come on out and tell the world you bisexual and be done with it? Be done with it. I like men. I like women. I like group sex. Just tell a person as soon as you meet them. Don't sugarcoat nothing. Don't beat around the bush. Keep that shit real. People respect you more if you just tell the truth instead of doing all this baiting and, slick ass talk. Because you can feel a person out. It's what I tell young women. You already know when you're dealing with somebody grimy any damn way. Because it's in their talk. It's in their walk. As soon as you meet them, all you want to talk about is your body. Oh, you sure look fine. Ooh, you got some big old this. You got some big old that. Ooh, I sure like to get in your pants. I sure like to do this. Do you do this? Do you go down? Do you do this? That's somebody. Hey, let me tell you something. That ain't even somebody she even want to talk to. That's filthy talk and it's ignorant talk. And this is why men use women. Because they feel like I could come to her like this. I talk to Susie, Shamiqua, Mary, same damn way. So you got a man coming at you all, slick talk. He can't talk about how his day went. He can't tell you what he did at work. All he want to talk about, what you doing, what you got on. That's going to be your conversation every time you talk to him. And he could be black, white, Latino, Jewish, Arab. You see where I'm going with this? Some men don't have no game. Some men don't have no conversation. That's all they talk about is sex. And I've met many men like this, white, black, whatever. They do not know how to talk. So it's not just famous men, athletes, wealthy men in general, just don't know how to talk. And I'm going to tell you, woman to woman, you meet a man, and if the first thing out of his mouth is, what do you like to do sexually? You ought to run like hell. Because he's already telling you what he's about. He's not interested in you as a human being. He's not interested in your job, your profession, your hobbies, what you like to do. He don't give a fuck about what you like to do. He just want to know, do you want to get down and how you get down? And are you willing to do this, this, and this? Because that's what's going to come next. That's not even something you should even ask a woman. You like oral sex? You like anal sex? Excuse me? Negro, you don't even know my damn name. Oh, my bad. I just want to know, because I'm digging you and I'm attracted to you and I just want to see, what you all about. It don't matter what I'm about. But you need to ask me something more than that. See, it's nothing out here. And I'm going to tell you something. At 53, I'm good at people watching. When I would go out on the weekends, I sit at the bar, sit at the table, sit in my little cut, and I just watch. And I can tell who's thirsty, man and woman, who don't care about how they act, what they're representing, conversation. You learn a lot by watching. You can tell who's trying to pick up something, take something home, and then you come back in next week, he all up in somebody else's face. And you can best believe when you got men like that, they all over the place, especially in one night. He over here, he over here, he over here. Next week, he over here, he over here. He'll sure be the one to kiss and tell. And let's talk about the man, since we're already in the belly of the beast, that wants to introduce you to porn, okay? This is my playhouse, baby. I talk about whatever the hell I want to talk about. Find you something to do, okay? Go watch Young and the Restless or Dr. Phil. He's on repeat. Anyway, as I was saying, the man that's always, as I said, talking about sex, has to introduce you as if you've never seen porn or heard of porn. Ask you, do you like porn? You watch porn? I like porn. And you're like, okay, what's your point? That's a form of grooming. And I'm sure Diddy, Mr. Kelly, they did that often. That's why Lil Rod, I believe, has receipts. And as I said before, how do you go up to somebody and show them porn? Because you got to ease into it. And that's what men have done with women for years. Just ease into it. What you like to do. I like porn. I like a little porn. Can I show you something? Might just say that without even talking about liking porn. Might just say, hey, I want to show you something. Let's say you at his place. He pulled it out. Well, it's over with now because he done pulled it out. And you're like, okay. And then you might say, well, I ain't really into this. Woo, woo, woo. No, let me show you something. And God forbid you go in there to do a little something. He basically telling you he can't have sex without looking at porn first. Met one of those many moons ago. And then you look at the man, fine, black, chocolate. I mean, just a beautiful black man. And in my mind, I'm sitting here looking at myself like, you got to look at porn to have sex? All the organs are working. Do you understand what I'm saying? All his organs are working fine. But he got to look at porn to get in the groove. So that's what you see here with these men. It's called baiting. It's called grooming. Let me see what she's about. Let me see what he's about. Get a response from him. And that's what you're seeing here with Mr. P. Diddy. He brings you that gift to get a response. Hey, man, let me show you something. And you be like, yeah, what's up, homeboy? What you got to show me? Two men having sex. How the hell do you even fix your face to go up to another man who's allegedly straight and show him a video of two men having sexual relations? That's what I don't understand about P. Diddy. Why? But I know why. You want to see a reaction. And this is why I don't understand why this never got out publicly. Not just here recently, all these, lawsuits, but why didn't this get out? Where people started running to the hills and saying to people, hey, don't mess with this man. He like men. He fronting with women, but he really like men. And the one thing we've learned about homosexuality and bisexuality, the deviance way is higher. So walking around with these women and beating on them, all that to me is a front. Him like men, okay? Him like R. Kelly like men. They just don't want to tell the public they like men. Come in. We cool, we hanging, we chilling, we drinking, we smoking, we snorting, whatever we doing. Now let me ease into showing you the video and let me get a response, see what you about. You don't complain, then you down. You complain, I gotta play it off. Oh man, I saw this and I thought it was funny. I just wanted to show it to you, see what you was gonna say. No. You want to see if I'm down with it. You just don't have the guts to come out and say, hey, I'm attracted to you, homeboy. What's up? Just be honest. That's what you're seeing play out here with Puffy, other men, whether they are heterosexual, bisexual, whatever. They're just nasty beings, and they just don't have the aptitude to conduct themselves as civilized individuals, and they just don't know how to come out and just say, hey, this is who I am, this is what I'm about. I'm into pornography, I'm into group sex, I'm into menage a trois or whatever, I'm into men-on-men action, I'm into this and this, I'm into bestiality, whatever it is that they're into. They just don't know how to come out and say it. So what they do is they get you in the fold, and then they start working on you. And once they feel comfortable, boom, that's when they bring out the videos. And then you're stuck there in that moment like, okay, what's this about? And you don't want to tell them the truth. Hey, you a nasty SOB, you understand what I'm saying? Especially because he's famous. So now you don't want to offend him, but you offended. You are offended. Okay, you a billionaire. I see you. But damn, how you gonna disrespect me? And if I was a man, I would be like, what the, you know what? I'd have knocked his ass out. Ain't about to be none of this what you seeing play out on TV. As I said, that been Diddy flat. You been knocked the fuck out. You ain't going to stroke me, hair, arms, all of that, homeboy. So that's why I have a problem with Lil Rod. Lil Rod, I think you need to tell the whole truth of what was going on between you and Sean Combs, because there's more to it, okay? Hold on a minute, everybody. Get this nonsense out my chat. You should just tell the truth. You've done something with him and something went wrong. Either you were asking for money or asking for gifts or asking for something. He would not pay, give it up. Maybe you started liking him and he realized he didn't really want to keep dealing with you. I don't know. But what's off to me is this BS with you living in his house, a grown-ass man living in this house, and then you got the nerve to sit up here and talk about you a Christian man and you a heterosexual man. Well, people are going to question that, because the first thing they're going to say is man's house. You hadn't heard the stories about Sean Combs and his parties and his demeanor. So really, why were you hanging around him? I ain't got to live with somebody to work for them. So why are you living in this man's house? 13 months? Or on and off, or whatever the deal is? See, we don't really know what's the truth. Maybe CCTV footage will show us how much time you were spending with Sean and how much time you were running in and out of his house. And what's going to be jacked up, if you were having sex with Sean, he might have that in his Rolodex. And that's when you're going to be fucked up. Excuse my language. Because he has been filming people coming in and out of his homes. He's also been filming people having sex with each other, sex with him. If you've been having sex with him, Mr. Lil Rod, you can best believe he has that on film. And with all these searches of these two homes, they'll probably be going into his New York home. It's going to be some smoke in the city with a lot of people. Because a lot of people are probably very scared right now, knowing they have had sex with Sean. They have possibly had group sex with Sean. They have possibly been drugged by Sean. His children have probably been having sex in his houses, naturally. All that shit's on film. And I won't doubt that he's watched his own sons have sex. It's about to be real nasty. Because you know damn well he's kept a Rolodex of video of everybody coming and going out of his house. And he's kept video. And that's what's going to be jacked up. People, this Homeland Security agents going through hours and hours of footage, looking at people trying to identify who's who. And as I said before, you are a fool. You went up in that man's house having sex with him, or having sex in any rooms, or having sex with other people. You had to have known there would be hidden cameras. Come on now. So he'll probably get sued by a whole lot of folks if they can verify the names versus a face in the video footage and then go find those people. Do you know how embarrassing that's going to be? To have a complete stranger come up to you and say, hi, we'd like to talk to you. And then you're sitting here saying, well, what's the problem? Why is Homeland Security here? Well, we need to talk to you. We've got an investigation. We want to talk to you. And you're scared shitless because you think you've done something wrong. You've broken the law. Well, I haven't done anything. Why are you here? We need to talk to you, ma'am. We need to talk to you, sir. Well, what's this all about? Do you know Sean Combs? And the first thing they whole head gonna sink. Oh, shit. And the first thing they're gonna think, they got me on tape. They got me on tape having sex with him. They got me on tape having sex with somebody in his house. They got me on tape using drugs. They got me on tape doing something. And that's going to be a low sinking feeling. Because nobody has the right to film you without your consent. Nobody has a right to blackmail you, bribe you, because they've got some dirt on you. Nobody has that right. And actually, I feel sorry if these names get out. Because like I said, what other people do, I don't have to do. I don't have to condone it. But I, myself, would never have gone in this man's house. Having sex, group sex, none of that. Because more than likely, no matter the situation, group sex, open sex, sex with him, sex with other people, you're a paid worker, sex worker, you just some other stuff jumped out, more than likely it's on video. And you are about to get a sick, sick surprise. Because I got a feeling these agents will be trying to verify the people in the video if indeed they find any footage of sexual activity, drug activity, passing around of drugs, getting high, whatever they find. I believe they're going to try to verify the people in the video. So if you also work for Sean Combs in any capacity in the past or present, they will be knocking at your door. They are going to be coming to you to ask you questions about your role and what you've done with him. Legal, illegal. How much you got paid. Why were you going along with the illegal activity? So those people I'd be looking for a knock as well. And another thing before I check out of here. If you have been involved with him in illegal activity, filming people, holding people against their will, like all that shit that went down with R. Kelly, going out here bribing people, going out here finding young girls, young boys to be with P. Diddy or whomever, entourage, friends, associates, famous people, you are a nasty motherfucker. And you should be strung up right along with him. Because there's no reason for you to be out here looking for children for a grown-ass man. And that's one of the allegations by Lil Rod pertaining to Puff Diddy's children or sons. that they also out looking for children, or one of the sons was out looking for young girls. And I don't understand how in the world you could go out here and look for a child for your own father. That's your father. Now, this is an allegation. But it's sickening to think a child going out to get a child for their father. Now, these young men are probably, legally grown, but it's disgusting nonetheless, even if you're 25, 30 doing it. But you lead by example. And he has not been a good role model. Now, all these other allegations about Meek Mill, Usher, whomever, this Aaron guy, because I believe there's two Aarons mentioned, one from the group guy, been gang raping a girl 30-something years ago, and then this other guy, I think he's on that hip-hop show. Man, ain't nobody heard y'all respond. Because what can you say? Because if you know you done been in that room with him and you done done some dirt, probably best you don't respond. Because let me show you something about people like Puffy, Sean, whatever you want to call them, Love, R. Kelly, Weinstein, Epstein. There is no loyalty. They will throw your ass under the bus just as quick as they used you, threw your little money, had you go out here doing all this dirt and shit. They will throw you under the bus. They don't have respect for you. So whatever you were doing with these jokers was a waste of time. And you sold your soul to the devil for whatever you got. A car, some jewelry, some money. Was it worth it? Because whoever's working for him now, they getting ready to disappear. You gotta go find you somebody else to try to mooch off of and tailgate. But you will no longer be working for Puffy. This is, like I said, R. Kelly replay all over again. The show is over. White boy, drug mule, allegedly, it's over. You carry your ass back around Sean Combs, that's your dumb ass. You still want to be in the drug trade, that's your dumb ass. Because all money ain't good money. And most people who are doing time for drug trafficking, they will tell you, this ain't where you want to be. And the fact that you're 25 years old and this is all you doing is hanging around with Puffy and carrying drugs and bags and shit to get on planes, baby, you ain't got no game. You ought to be doing something better with your life at 25. Catching dope charges for what? This man is about to go down one way or the other. And you want to ride that coattail? Well, go right ahead. Because now you're going to bring trouble to your parents if indeed you live at their house. You see, one thing begets another. When you get yourself wrapped up with the wrong people and you willingly ride that donkey ride thinking you are benefiting, you're not doing nothing but going to take other people down with you. And that's the moral of the story pertaining to Sean. And the people who rode the ride willingly and knowing what he was doing, that was their choice. That's their choice. And I don't feel sorry for them. Because I'm not about to get involved with no human trafficking children and shit like that. Hell no. And I ain't about to be getting wrapped up in those sex videos and doing none of that type of nonsense. Hey, like I said, everybody's been young, but I'm sure a lot of these people, they're just as grown as 50-something. And if that's what you want to get down on, that's your business. But what you need to understand, there's probably a receipt. And eventually your name's getting ready to come out. Because they're probably going to want to verify any video footage they find in his possession to let you know you were filmed. And then what you do after that, that'll be on you legally. Thank you all so much for joining me. played you a few little videos pertaining to Sean, and both his homes have been raided in Miami and Los Angeles. I have not heard about his home being raided in New York. He has not been arrested. His children have not been arrested. Also in commentary yesterday, I brought you one of the homes is under one of his film companies and his daughter's name, which I find very suspicious. Why would the home, I believe it's the LA home, be in the daughter's name and also one of his film companies? What's going to happen now to his pocketbook? Will they find evidentiary material against him? Will he be arrested? Will others be arrested? Will somebody flip on him if they are also looped into any charges? Will this guy say he got the drugs for Sean? Or he'll just take the charge for having the cocaine and the candies? We will see. His lawyer says it's a witch hunt. Is it? This is all the government messing with a famous black man, trying to take a famous black man down? Or is it retribution, karma, justice, finally coming home for some old, new, dirty deeds you've exacted and you didn't get your fucking payback when it was time? But now it's time. You be the judge. Thank you so much for joining me. And once again, if you'd like to donate to this great network, $Big 129 Cash App, stickers and chats are welcome during all of my live streams. And if you ever want to contact the Queen directly, join me in conversation pertaining to any topic, you can reach me on Instagram at BigSexy.71. Thank you all for following this network. Thank you for finally getting the Queen at 14,000 subscribers. Long overdue. This is not a true crime network. I do have a lot of content in the queue pertaining to true crime, but I also talk about breaking news, pop culture, P. Diddy, and other salaciousness. I'll be back on a little later to talk about Ruby Frankie and her jailhouse calls. We're going to chop up the things that she has said in her jailhouse calls. We're also going to talk about, does she have remorse for abusing her children? What's going to happen with the husband? And do you believe he is also at fault, even though he wasn't with her at the time when the children were found abused in that house down in southern Utah? But the role he played up until leaving the house and leaving his wife behind and his children behind for 1 year, and he didn't look back. Should he get custody of those children? I say no. And for the question in the chat about P. Diddy, yes, I believe he's guilty. Yes, I do. And I don't believe this is the end of it. I believe there will be more people coming forward with lawsuits against him, because I got a funky feeling some names are about to be released of any video footage found. And those people are going to be suing him for filming them without their consent. I believe that's the next debacle that's on the horizon. I really do. Thank you so much. Follow my content pertaining to Sebastian Rogers, any updates pertaining to Riley Strang. Some people still feel like there's some funkiness with that rendering, but so far, preliminary findings say the young man fell in the water, I guess. Drowned. I don't know. I still don't understand how he got by that river, but that's a whole nother subject too. Thank you for joining me. You've been listening to The Vault XL. Thank you for your time. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful week. And please check my community board for polls, and take the polls, comment on the post. Give me your opinions pertaining to this case, this story, what you think is getting ready to happen to Sean and any other entities. Brendan Paul, the guy who was caught at the airport with drugs in his luggage. Tell me what you think. You've been listening to The Vault XL.